Hey guys, Midwest Picker here. I'm experimenting with the lighting, moving around different angles. So if it looks a little dark, put down in the comments, Dave, you look dark. So I don't know, maybe I should brighten it up a little. There. I know this side is not as bright as this side, so I'm experimenting. So before I talk about what's sold on eBay, I want to talk about a public service announcement that I participated in. If you don't know Simply Dana, she created a public service announcement video. She reached out to me on Instagram and asked me if I would participate in that, and I was thrilled. I said absolutely. So I created a little snippet, a little 60-second video, and sent that to her. She also reached out to other resellers, and she put together this video about the you-know-what virus and quarantining and staying home and doing our part to flatten the curve, and we'll get through this together. If you missed it, it premiered today at 1:30. I'm going to link it down below so you can watch the replay. It's a fascinating video. Everybody did a great job, and she did a fantastic job. So it's linked down below. Check it out. Share it with people. That'll help her out a lot. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to her channel. She does fantastic work. So the first item I sold, I'll put a picture up here. This item I sold here is my personal copy of the Super Nintendo game Out of This World. I got this way back in the day, probably early to mid 90s. I played it a few times. Actually, I played it a lot. And then it sat in storage since probably the 90s. So I did list this as untested because I don't have a Super Nintendo game system, but it is my personal copy, so it's a one-owner copy. Make sure if you have a video game and you don't test it, that in the item condition, the little description box, you put in there that it's untested, and that's fine, but at least it lets potential buyers know that it's untested. It's kind of a gamble. Now, this is my personal copy. I have no concerns of it not working. I'm sure it works fine. Included the manual. So I think I listed it for about $18.95. I took a best offer of $14. I did the rare free shipping just because I wanted to get rid of it. And it's super lightweight. It goes in a nice little 4x4x6 box. Probably weighed like 6 or 7 ounces. So shipping was pretty cheap. Not a huge profit, but not bad at all. So yes, video games are selling like crazy. People like those throwback games, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64, maybe even Sega Genesis. I don't know. They seem to be selling quite well. The next item is this action figure. This is Masters of the Universe. If you see the abbreviation MOTU, I'll put that up here somewhere on the screen too. That's what it stands for, Masters of the Universe. Now, the vintage ones, the original ones from, I think, mid-80s, 85 to the late 80s, those are the most valuable ones. They did reissue these. Some of them made China. They're official, but they're newer. They have a much less value than these original ones from the 80s. So this is an original one from the 80s. I bought this in a lot. Can't remember how many I bought. 45 of them for $200, something like that. It's in an old video, so I bought a whole box of them. I still have half of them over here I haven't listed yet. This guy finally sold, $11.50 plus shipping on top. I made a video, maybe I'll put the episode up here, of how to sell action figures, things that you need to put in your description. These particular ones have a waist action, so if you twist the upper body and let go, it kind of snaps, so people want to know, does that work? People that collect action figures out of the original package want to know if it stands on its own. A whole list of things they want to know, so if you're going to sell them, you need to put those details in the description. And I have a bunch more MOTU or Masters of the Universe action figures on my eBay store. I also, off to the side here, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some others I just haven't gotten to yet. They're real dusty. I have to clean them off and inspect them and list them. So I'm doing pretty good with my death pile. The next one is a Sears Craftsman hammer. This is something we bought to give as a Christmas gift to a family member somewhere. I don't know what year. It never happened, and it was sitting under my staircase, and I found it with the tags still on it, so I looked it up, and it's pretty valuable. Cost of goods is unknown. I paid full retail for it, but 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know. So you could say cost of goods is zero because it was in my Christmas budget. I just never gave it to anybody. So I sold it for, let me think. So I listed it for $23.95 about 2 weeks ago, not that long ago. But then I decided to put all my tools on my eBay store on sale, 25% off. I have a lot of tools I bought from the Craigslist Hunter. I have my own personal tools. I have other things I sourced at flea markets. For some reason, tools are kind of a slow seller right now. They're usually a pretty good seller. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to blow them out for the next month. I put all my tools on sale 25% off. So if you're interested in tools, check out my tools on my eBay store now, probably through early May, about 30 days from now. They're all on sale 25% off. So this one sold for $17.96 plus shipping on top. It's pretty heavy, but it did fit in a Region A skinny box, so the shipping was not bad at all. The next one is a Corvette lapel pin. I talked about this in some previous videos on what sold. So my personal property, I have buckets of these lapel pins. It's a long story, but they are handmade from the 1980s, but they're also new. So they were handmade, put in a little baggie, and been sitting in storage probably since the late 80s. So they're still considered new. They haven't been used. They're not scratched up or dinged up or anything like that. They've never been owned by anybody other than me and my dad, who actually made the pins. So I consider them new, and they look new. They're beautiful. They're kind of like jewelry. So this one was a Corvette lapel pin. I have all these listed for $35 with best offers. I'm getting a lot of messages. Do you have any more? Unfortunately, no, I don't. I'm listing everything I own, and that's it. These are very rare, one-of-a-kind lapel pins. You can't buy them anymore, especially handmade from the USA. It just doesn't exist. As far as I know, there are no companies left in this country that make these by hand. Most of these lapel pins are made overseas, stamped in steel, made rather cheaply. So anyways, get off my soapbox. This was listed for $35. I took a best offer of $30. The next one is a tractor pull lapel pin. This was extremely popular. I had 5 or more watchers, lots of messages, lots of offers for $20 or $22, or if I bought all 4 of them, can I get them for this much? And I just declined them, because when you have a hot item and you have a lot of watchers and messages, you know you have something good. So why take a low ball offer? Just be patient and wait. So I finally got an offer for $30, which isn't bad when I have it listed for $35. So I took that, sold it. Cost of goods is 0 on these, and shipping is super lightweight. I'm talking like 4 ounces. Just wrap them up in a little ball of bubble wrap, stick them in a tiny box. Now, some of you might be thinking, why didn't you just mail it in a padded envelope or a padded mailer? It's a little bit lighter. You save a little bit on shipping. The reason I didn't do that is because these are valuable. These are like jewelry, like costume jewelry almost. Technically, I could put it in a padded mailer, but when someone pays $30 for a lapel pin, give them the common courtesy to put it in a small 4x4x6 box. It will protect it so much better. It's only like 2 ounces more in weight. So the few pennies you save in shipping, you're going to have a much happier customer. They're going to give you great feedback. They might even sign up to get newsletters or emails from your eBay store, or follow you on eBay, and repeat customers. You know, they trust you and they'll come back. So anything that's collectible, valuable, I almost never put it in a padded envelope or a padded mailer. And if I did, say a postcard or something like that, I would sandwich it in between cardboard, make sure it's really protected well. The last one is my home run. I mentioned this in the last video. This is my last Moen, let's see, where did it go? Replacement valve body. Sourced this for $1.50 at a thrift store. It was still new in the package. I could scan it easily with my eBay app on my phone. Came up $100, $90. It, you know, my eyes bugged out of my head. I was like, wow. So I bought 2 of them for $1.50 a piece. The other one sold just a few days ago, and this one sold because I put them all on sale because I have all my tools on sale. $55.97. Cost of goods $1.50. Shipping stayed first class. It was only like 8 or 9 ounces. So that's a good bolo. Plumbing supplies, replacement valve bodies, and replacement pieces and parts and all that, especially if they're brand new still in the package. If it's Delta, if it's Moen, if it's a high-end brand, they will sell. Now, some are long tail, some are quicker, but they do sell. Especially when I looked this up, this Moen valve body, I looked it up on the Moen website, and brand new, it's like a lot, $120, $110, something like that. So when people see it for $55 on eBay, they snatch it up right away. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to hold out for 6 months or a year to get $89.95 and get the most money possible? Or do you want the quick flip of $55, list it, and boom, it's gone in a couple days? Me personally, because this is a hobby, because I'm part-time, and because we're in quarantine and I can't source, I'd rather get the quick flip. If I spend $150, give me 55, I'm happy. Other people would be like, you know what, I'm patient, I'm going to list it for $99, and if it takes a year, fine. And they like to do that. So everybody is different. Put down in the comments, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the quick flip for a little less money, or do you prefer to wait it out and get the maximum dollar? Everybody's different. So that's it, guys. That's what's sold. Be sure to check out Simply Dana. I put her link down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing so that you get notifications every time I make a video. And if you want real easy links, just go to MidwestPicker.com and you can find my Instagram. You can follow me on there. So when I sell these items, you don't have to wait a week for a video to come out. I put it on Instagram within the hour when I sell an item, so you get instant bolos and things to look out for. So, and also put your questions down. I love answering questions, so put your questions down in the comments. That's it, guys. Great bolos, great sales. I sold 5 things in the last 48 hours, which is huge for me. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.